Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great morning. Kip here, happy reformer, with your morning meditation. This morning, I want to talk about, and I may do a series one of these days. I thought about this, but I want to talk about one of the lies that is taught in much of Western Christianity and in church culture. And I'd like to talk about some of the lies that we believe or we've been told. Some of them I would even consider to be heresies. One of those I mentioned yesterday, I saw a video. I'm still working on it because I want to do justice to this. But this idea of penal substitution, this idea that God was punishing Jesus because he was so full of wrath against us, is not just false teaching and not the heart of Father, Son, and Spirit. I believe it is heresy. But we'll get to that another time. But this morning, I want to talk about one of the key things that religion has done that is a lie. See, religion in and of itself, we should never even have. Jesus came to put an end to religion. There were religion systems throughout the world. Judaism is a religious system. He used it for his purpose for that season. But Jesus came to do an end with religion. He came to provide us with reality. I've heard Jesus isn't a religion, he's a relationship. That's true. But more than a relationship, it's the reality of the gospel, the reality of our union with Jesus and Father and Spirit. But the church has, the only way the church has thrived in modern culture is by preaching the dictates of distance and delay. Distance and delay. Revival. Oh, it's always coming. Revival's been coming for years and years and years. I mean, in our modern world, we've had guys praying and fasting for revival for 30 years. I mean, they're not very good at it, or God's really stubborn. Because that's not how that works. One of the other ones I want to just touch on this morning is that of distance or separation. Maybe you've been told or you've heard that you were separated from God, or your sin separates you from God. I want to tell you that that is a huge lie. There is no separation. There has never been any separation. Let's take this, and part of this goes into that penal substitution conversation, which we'll have, is that God is so holy that he can't stand to be in the presence of sin. That's foolish. I mean, even if we think about that logically, like it's our interpretation, it's our vision of something. Like he's so holy that he can't be in the presence of it. No, he is so everything I am that sin doesn't bother him. Now, what I mean by that is not that it's that he approves of it, but that sin doesn't affect him. Being in the presence of sin is not somehow going to blemish or tarnish him. He is God. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, right? Da, 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 created all these things and created man. Gave man, woman, help meet, name the animals, live, joy, have all the things. This is Eden. This is the garden of pleasure. That's actually what you were created for, is the garden of pleasure. Everything is accessible to you except for this one tree, knowledge of the tree of good and evil. Understand that Jesus didn't say that the tree of life was off limits, because that was their inheritance. The tree of knowledge of good and evil was the one that was off limits. We were never meant to be and to experience and to judge good and evil. It's never what we were created for. It's not our place. Now, I don't want to get bogged down there. So Adam and Eve sin, right? Sin, which again, that word's not even in the story. They disobeyed. They eat the fruit. Now, what immediately happens? Their eyes are opened. Yeah, their eyes were never supposed to be opened to good and evil. They're like, oh my God, we're naked. So they're covering themselves in, leaves and tree bushes and all sorts of stuff. So if we carry this logic that God doesn't like sin, or God can't be around sin, or that we were somehow separated from God because of our sin, then the story immediately following this first sin is a lie. Because apparently, prior to this, every evening, see, they had open access to Father, Son, and Spirit. They were living in that communal relationship within the Trinity. But every evening, Father would come for a walk in the garden, right? So all of a sudden, man, Adam and Eve, they're hiding, they're covering themselves up. Oh my God, we're naked, we're in the trees, da 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 da. And all of a sudden, here comes evening, and here comes Father, looking for their normal appointment. So, did God not know? Is God not all knowing? Did he not know that they had already eaten of the fruit? Because if he didn't know, then he's not the God we've said. If he did know and they sinned and they disobeyed, then what in the world was he doing there? Hey, Adam, where are you? Here for our evening walk. Adam's like, oh my God, I'm hiding. Why are you hiding? Again, God is trying to pull out of Adam already the lies that he was believing because of the knowledge of good and evil. God already knew. I ate the tree, the woman, whatever. Now, right there says that we were never separated. Now, well, but they kicked him out of the garden. Right. He kicked them out of the garden for one reason. Because now that they had indulged in the knowledge of good and evil, now he had to reset their thinking before they indulged in the tree of life. Jesus, that fulfillment, he not only cured their disease, he is the tree of life. David said, if I go into the depths of hell, you are there with me. There's no place, there is no separation from God. He is life itself. If you were to be separated from God, you would cease to exist. He is in all and all. Colossians chapter 2, Paul says, for in him the whole fullness of the deity dwelled in a bodily form, and you have been filled in him. The full Trinity, the fullness of God resides within you. You're not separated. You've never been separated. There's not a person in the world who can be separated, even if they wanted to. You can run, you can hide, you can resist. You cannot acknowledge the love of God, but you cannot be separated from him. There's no such thing. So relax today. Enjoy your union with Father, Son, and Spirit. And don't get bogged down with religion and all of the BS of your separation and your distance and all the things that you've got to do to climb back into God and somehow find God. Those are all lies. You are one with him. That's my morning meditation. Maybe a touch long this morning. Hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you next time. Cheers.